this is NBC Sports News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Beulah Boyce. In tonight's news, a delegate of the Confederation of African Volleyball will arrive in Namibia next Monday to assess the progress made on the African Dream project in the country. Newly appointed president of the Namibia Tennis Association wants to leave a legacy in the sport and on the international sports scene. The All Blacks received a warm welcome as they arrived back in New Zealand early today, having successfully defended their Rugby World Cup title. That and more coming up. Welcome back. A delegate of the Confederation of African Volleyball will arrive in Namibia next Monday to assess the progress made on the African Dream project in the country. The Namibian leg of the project was launched in Oshakati early this year.
The African Dream project is a 4-year program financed by the Confederation of African Volleyball to identify volleyball talent in Africa, including Namibia. The Secretary General of the Namibia Volleyball Federation, Guntam, told NBC Sports that volleyball development centers for the program were open at Katima Mulilo, Rundu, Oshakati and Windhoek.
So we're quite confident that the way that we've been doing it is good so far. But obviously, once the observers have been here, there will always be some tweaks that will have to take place. But I think so far we're doing all right. I think the volleyball is moving forward in the right direction.
The delegation will come from Mozambique, will visit Windhoek, Katima Mulilo, Rundu and Oshakati. The Namibia project recently walked away with the Development Program of the Year award with a cash injection of 100,000 Namibian dollars at the annual Sports Awards.
The newly appointed president of the Namibia Tennis Association wants to leave a legacy by the end of his term. Sam Ipinge shared this in an exclusive interview with NBC Sport.
Tennis is one of the sport codes that has taken development to most regions of the country. Over the past few years, more kids have gone through the association's development structure, and the new president has plans to bring inclusivity to make sure that the country can have a pool of quality players that can represent it.
For NTA to send out coaches to regions, you need money. And this is the money that we normally would expect to come from the private sector or from companies to sponsor tennis. We are engaging potential sponsors in this regard.
Ipinge, who took over from Bob Mould in June 2015 this year for a 2-year term, believes that with proper structures and finances, the sport can find its rightful footing. One of the players who have come through the development ranks and has already represented Namibia in Botswana and Zimbabwe in youth tournaments is Bronwen Kabarure.
The main reason I chose tennis is because it's an individual sport, and I wasn't really confident when I started off. I started when I was in grade 5 and I wasn't the most confident child, and my mother pushed me to play tennis. And as I started playing tennis for about 4 years, my confidence has really boosted, and it's been really fun for me to play tennis, and it's taken me to Bulawayo, and so it's been really fun for me to play tennis.
The players are preparing for this weekend's doubles tournament, which will be held at the Central Tennis Court in Nobilizwe Moyo. The coach, who has seen most of these players coming through the structures, believes that there is talent amongst them.
Unfortunately, this is the time when the kids are writing exams, so that's why the courts are half empty. The development program, which is sponsored by FNB, started 3 years back, and then the kids are mostly coming from Katutura, and I think we're doing well if you're looking at the results.
After 4 weeks of this year's Luderit Speed Challenge 2015 event, conditions led to a world record yesterday. The feat was achieved by Antoine Albu.
The wind has been much stronger than predicted, and the angle has been better to be able to sail in a multiple performance speed channel which flatter water surface. Then records started to tumble one after the other. But the day belonged to Frenchman Antoine Albeau, who broke a world record for the first time, achieving 52.41 kts. Then he never stopped and broke it 5 times, and then the actual world record, which now stands at the highly impressive 53.27 kts. Much is expected of what will happen in the forthcoming days, where 16 riders from different nationalities have until the 15th of November to achieve their personal objectives.
Now on to international sport news, and we start with rugby. The All Blacks received a warm welcome as they arrived back in New Zealand early today, having successfully defended their Rugby World Cup title. Thousands of fans turned out at Auckland Airport to welcome home the Rugby World Cup winning All Blacks.
Ground crew for National Carrier Air New Zealand performed a haka as the aircraft carrying the team taxied to its gate around 7 a.m. local time. More than 2,000 fans, many having waited since 4 a.m., cheered widely when the team appeared in the terminal, led by Captain Richie Macau carrying the trophy. The team showed off the William Webb Ellis Trophy in Auckland amid wild cheers. Thousands of fans packed the local park where the players and officials received the traditional Maori welcome. The team will also have a victory parade in Christchurch and Wellington on Friday.
Finally, on to horse racing news, but on a sad note. Young Australian jockey Timothy Bell died late yesterday after falling from a high-rise apartment in Singapore. He won his last race at Sunday's meeting on the Stephen Burridge-trained Limbs Bullet.
The 22-year-old Australian reportedly locked himself out of his 12th floor residence located at Choa Chu Kang Avenue 3 and fell while looking for the keys. Singapore police are investigating the circumstances of the death. Bell had just begun a 3.5-month stint at Singapore Turf Club's Kranji Race Course. Born in Narrabri, New South Wales, Bell rode around 650 winners in a career spanning 7 years, including more than 20 at group level. His most notable victories were the Group 1 Queensland Oaks with Tinto, the Group 2 Queensland Guineas with Say Moments, and the Group 2 QTC Cup with Sacred Star all last year.
Yeah, a loss for everybody, you know. His fiance, well, not his fiance, his girlfriend was here, and you know, she's shocked, and her mother's coming over tonight, and his father's coming over tomorrow. So it's a real shock to everybody. I mean, it's just tragic.
And with that, we have come to the end of tonight's sports news. Join us again tomorrow for more. Don't forget to log on to our website, www.nbc.na/sport, or tweet us at SportNBC. Otherwise, like our Facebook page at NBC Sport for more sport news. Thanks for watching from me, Beulah Boyce. It's pleasant viewing. Until tomorrow.